Welcome, everybody. Al Berg here with Lola, and this is my 40th uh, podcast. And today's June 7th, 2018. It's a Thursday, and I'm working from home today because there were problems on the Long Island Railroad. What do you know? So I was in the shower listening to WCBS radio, and they said that there was some sort of fire between Hicksville and Mineola, which is my line, and that the trains are suspended. So the weird thing is I was hoping I could work from home. Now, again, there's always this thought, am I creating reality? Scott Adams had an interesting podcast yesterday, talking about placebo effects. And the funny thing is that the placebo effect was something I had talked about before I heard him. Just randomly came up in my book. And he mentioned a book, I think called, I don't know the name of it. I'll look it up. Oh, wait, I do. I'll give it to you. So he mentioned a book called How Healing Works, and it's supposedly about the placebo effect, and he recommended it. So you get a recommendation from somebody like him, it's a book you got to read. So I did order it from Amazon, which is good. So today I spent a little, so I'm working from home, and I'm in this new phase of IP, intellectual property. How do I protect it from my coworkers? And again, the only reason I need to protect it is because the way it works in my company is my review is against my coworkers. So if my coworker gets a outstanding, it lowers the odds of me getting an outstanding. So I never realized it, but there's low advantage to me to helping people. And it's to my advantage if I want a better review to not help people and shine above them. Now, I don't like doing this, and I've never done it before. Well, that's not totally true. I realized that I was working uh, on some other code a long time ago, and I did a similar thing where I had two versions of the code. So one version was on my local machine, and the other version is the one I uploaded to the network. And the one to the network did not have some extra tools I developed to make it a little easier for me to debug and things like that. So today I was working a little bit on ideas on how to make it harder. So I wrote some really cool code, I thought. So one of the things is I copy my code from my local drive to the network, so it could be shared and run by somebody else. So I, I that code now has moved a couple of functions, not that many, to a sheet that gets deleted before it copies it. So the program I have also has a different name. So the the code that somebody's going to see on the network, you would even never even know it had the functions that I have, and it's not really that big of an idea a thing. But I did I did remove this stuff, so it's still in my code, but it's not shared anymore. So that's my process going forward. I will automate stuff for myself, but for other people that have to back me up, I will not. So this has given me some more job security in theory. And also, I just don't like that I do a lot of work, create a lot of tools, and get very little credit for it. Almost, in some ways, my boss doesn't even like that I'm doing it. So if he doesn't like that I'm doing it, I don't have to do it for anybody but me. It'll just save me time. And so I came up with some other ideas on how to uh, make it harder for others to use it. So one way would to be obfuscate the code. I think that's how you pronounce the word. And all that does is and I've started to write code like this before. So one way you could protect your code is you could put a password on it, but that's something about that. And one thing you could do is you could say, oh, I forgot the password. I don't remember what it is. So that could be one thing you could do. Or you can say that's my IP. You can tell people, hey, it's my IP, my intellectual property. Why should I give it to you? So today my coworker asked me a question about some database field, and I was tempted to not give him the answer, but it turns out that I don't have access to the answer. He didn't ask me specifically what the fields meant, which I could have told him. He was looking for a memo. So I thought that was interesting. So another thing I was thinking of is to copy um, large sheets into the network shared spreadsheet. So what that would do is that it'll just slow things down, make it harder to work, more likely blow up. So it's sneaky, but there's something about it that's given me pleasure. Um, so we'll see. Uh, another idea was to force the user to enter the user ID and password over and over again anytime you run a query. Wait. So, so for me, it'll be stored on my drive, and for the user, it'll be stored only. They'll have to type it in each time. I have set up the code so that each time they run it, they'd have to use it. But so just I'm thinking about ways. Wait, wait. Oh, sorry. Wait. Pick up your foot. Pick up your foot. Wait. Okay. There you go. Okay, you're all done. Okay, so Lola was pooping. Let me pick it up. Where are you going? She's running away from me. We are at the park now. Okay, so we are now entering the park. It's by the way, it's a pretty cool day today. I'm going to say that I have a jacket and shorts on, but I'm going to say the weather temperature is probably 60, 65. I'm guessing on June 7th. It's pretty cold. So today is my parents' wedding anniversary. Both of them have passed away. I do miss them, but actually what I don't miss is their being sick. I mean, if you have a choice of having parents that are healthy and parents that are sick, really sick, it's in some ways you're better off when they pass away. It's much less stressful, so it's something that I'm thinking about as I get older. And as a young person, you don't realize that it's tough when you get older. You lose a lot of your facilities. I mean, look, you can't even eat. My mother had brain cancer. Um, she lost almost all her function. She could barely walk. And my father, bless his heart, would almost carry her to the bathroom. She was in a nursing home for a while. And then after she passed away, my father met a woman, got married. He didn't get married, he lived with her. And so he seemed pretty happy. Um, and then he died of basically of a stroke. Had diabetes all his life, didn't take care of himself, and who knows if it would have made a difference. I mean, I know I see that I try, and it's very hard to deal with aging. I mean, I always use the analogy that our bodies are like making a copy of a copy of a copy, right? You take a copy, you make a copy on a copy machine, and then you take the copy and make another copy, and eventually it loses its fidelity. You don't know what it was, and I think your DNA, which is basically the instructions on how to build you. It's kind of fascinating how that even works and how people even figure this out. Um, that how these machines break down. They don't can't read the instructions anymore, and they don't build as well. A lot of different things happen. So who knows? Maybe someday. And the funny thing is when I was a kid, I always feared death a lot. You ready? So Lowell's looking around for something. Yeah, so I feared death. I remember, um, and I try to think that hopefully maybe someday before I pass away that there'll be more cures. The interesting thing is one day, um, if you can live long enough, that the science will be ahead of you. So if the science allows you to live to 90 and you're 80, and then say it allows you to live to 100 and then you're 90, and it allows you to live to 110. So it's possible that you could get into a phase where there's just a lot of cures. I mean, I think one of the problems is that the body wears out. I know uh, a friend of mine who's in his 60s just got a hip resurfacing. Um, I have PPP. He also got his eyes fixed. So everything wears out. I mean, my eyesight's not that good anymore. I have to wear glasses. Oh, so Lola wants, you want another treat? You were being very good girl. Okay, go find it. Where is it? She didn't see where it went, so I have to point it out to her. It's right here. It's right here. I probably should get off this and do a periscope. You want to do a periscope? Should we do? Oh, you love that. You really like that, huh? Okay, let's pause this. I don't know if I can do a periscope. Okay, we're going to try a Hello, everybody. Alberg here. I haven't done a Periscope in a while. I've been trying to do more podcasting just because it's a little easier. I'm here with Lola, and we're at the park. It's a kind of a cool day today, just to show you the park. I guess another reason I haven't been podcasting, periscoping, is because it constantly hangs, which is pretty annoying. Welcome. Just here at the park with Lola. Just walking around, enjoying the day. I get this benefit when I work from home. Today, the Long Island Railroad had some problems on my line. There was some sort of fire between Hicksville and Mineola, and I get to work from home and walk my dog. So it's a positive and a negative all wrapped up into one. Um, she's a really good dog. I just and really beautiful too. I mean, I don't know what you think, but to me, she's an extremely beautiful dog. A little overweight. She's about, how much you weigh, Lola? Lola, come here. You want a treat? Lola, Lola, have a treat. You don't want a treat? Oh, she's really smelling something. There's a lot of rabbits hang out over here, so um, she's yeah, she's probably smelling. You want a treat? Yeah, I think she's gonna. So we play this game a lot. Stay there. So I tell her to stay, and then I throw a treat, and she's gonna come. You stay there. She's breathing heavy already. Stay. What a good girl. So she's very well trained, as you can see. She's off leash. We're in a park. Okay, go get the treat. Go get it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's over there. Keep going. Keep going. Go find it. I don't know where it went. I threw it over my shoulder. She loves this game. If you have a dog, play this kind of game with her. Matter of fact, you can teach a dog. Where is it? It's over here. Come on. Don't give up so easily. Don't give up so easily. Come on, it's over here. You're not doing well. Come on, it's over here somewhere. Go find it. Where is it? Oh, look at that. She found that was really good. You found it. Okay, you're gonna do some tricks for everybody. We haven't done this in a while. Do you know how to roll over? Let me see you roll over. That's not roll over. That's scratching. Everybody left. Everybody left. Come here. Stop for a second. Wait. Stay there. Okay. You're gonna roll over? Let me see. No, that's not roll over. Come on. Oh, roll over. That's scratchy. Come on, all the way, all the way. Scratch all the way. Roll over. Come on, that's not a roll over. One more. Roll. Yay! Hooray! You get a treat. Okay, let's see if you can catch. We know girls can't catch, so let's see. You're a girl. Let's see. Here goes. Yep, you dropped it. You dropped it. It's hard to do. I'm sure if you threw me something, I wouldn't be able to catch it. So we're gonna do a Ask Lola Anything. So if we have any questions for Lola, please ask away. Lola can talk to me. She really can. It's the weirdest thing. The other day, I was downstairs in my family room, and Lola comes, and I thought she wanted to go on the couch. So I said, "Okay, come on up." Um, she didn't come up, and then the next thing I know, she's like, okay, she's like whining. So I said, "Okay, show me." I always tell her to show me, and she knows that I'll follow her. So she goes upstairs, and she stops in front of the living room couch where my son, who's home from college, is sitting. Um, so I was like, okay, so go up on the other side. So I tap and tell her to go up, and she doesn't want to go up. And I'm thinking, why isn't she going up? And I realize that I've always tell her that she has to stay on the blanket. There's a blanket we put on the couch, and my son was on a blanket. So I told my son, move, give me the blanket. I put the blanket down, and she jumped right up on the blanket. The funniest thing. She's very smart. Are you a smart girl? Come here, come here, come here, come. Come. You look very tired. It's not even that hot outside. You're gonna sit? You're gonna sit? You're gonna sit and give me a high five? How about that? You wanna sit and give me a kiss? Let's see a high five. Sit. You gotta sit. Come on. Let's see that high five. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And let's see, do it gentle, gentle. Oh my God, that was so good. So she's also learned a gentle command where if I say gentle, she takes it away. Yes, you do like that. You're a very good doggy. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh. It's funny that I used to be afraid of dogs, and I'm still a little afraid, I guess. Vicious dogs scare me if they're growling and showing teeth. But if you're afraid of a dog, Watch a show called The Dog Whisperer. It's on Nat Geo usually. There's another show called Caesar 911. Highly recommend it. It kind of helped me a little bit, I would say. But the thing that helped the most is just having a very sweet dog. Right, Lola? What are you doing? What are you doing? Always with that nose. Her nose is always sniffing, looking for something. What are you looking for? You looking for something? There's a lot of rabbits in the neighborhood, and so sometimes, well, oh, you're gonna mark your territory. Yes, that's Lola's territory, right? The doctor said she has to lose a little weight. Doctor called you a fat pig. You put up with that? You put up with being called a fat pig? You know, just be careful. There's some poison ivy there, and I don't want to. No, yeah, yeah. Just watch the poison ivy, okay? No, 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 no. Get away. Lola, over here. Come on. She doesn't know. But she knows when I raise my voice, I don't want you to get poison ivy. Matter of fact, I don't really care if you get it. I don't want to get it. I don't want to get your poison ivy. What are you looking for? She already pooped. It's actually getting warm all of a sudden as I'm out. I don't know if it's heating up outside. It's around noon. What you doing? She looks very unsure. Are you unsure? It's a tail. One thing you could tell a lot by a dog's body language is by the tail. So a tail between the legs is a bad sign. It means the dog's afraid. And dogs do bite when they're afraid. Um, Ears back is usually a submissive sign. Ears forward is usually not. Hackles, which is stop, stop, stop. Okay, so the hackles, you hear some people say hackles is this fur over here, and kind of it'll stand up like a mohawk when they're when they're frightened. I'm not sure why they do it, but she does do it. And there's a cat that Lola loves. There's a little cat. You want to go see if the kitty cat's over there? Let's go see if the kitty cat's there. Come on. There's a cat that lives over here, a black cat, right? And there's also a guy he keeps his cats on a leash. So, but he's probably not out. You want to go see if the kitty cat is there? Yeah. So she's really good. We're leaving the park, and I mean I have a leash, but maybe I'll leash her up. Wait, wait. Yeah, there's a car coming. There's a car coming. So she's. Can you come outside the park? Can you come outside the park? No, you got to stay there. You got to stay there. What would you do if I went over here? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do if I came over here? Oh, you're a good girl. You stayed and listened to me very nicely. I'll give you a treat. Okay. One thing I always do. Wait, wait, wait. When I put her leash on, I always give her a treat for waiting for me. That was a good job. That was a good job. You get a treat. That's right. We almost forgot. You're breathing heavy. Here. There you go. Okay, so where do you want to go? We're going to go for a walk? Let's go see if the kitty cats are there. Let's go see if the kitty cats are there. A lot of dogs poop over here. How's everybody today? It's kind of getting nice. I have a jacket on, which I'm going to have to take off soon. We're just walking to see if there's a kitty cat over here. Go find a kitty cat. She knows a lot of words. She knows what a kitty cat is, or she might just know the way I'm vocalizing. She seems to know what a kitty cat is. Do you know where's the kitty cat? Okay, so I did a little Periscope. I'll try and include that video here. We're outside the park now, and Lola's sniffing around. And one funny thing she does is if she doesn't want to go in a certain direction, she just stops and kind of sits down. She'll even lay down. And I was just thinking, I wonder what she would do if I disconnected her leash and just started walking. I know she would follow me, but usually when a dog does that, you don't want to drag them. You want to just give them not even a tug, but you want to slowly pull them until they take a step and then you release. So your goal is to just get them to move a little bit, and once they move, they'll come with you. And she's pretty good. She's very sensitive to yelling. Like if I raise my voice, she gets very scared. And she knows the difference of when I'm happy and when I'm not. Okay, so I was going, this is part two because it's after the Periscope. I was going to go through, I had a list here of my what can Excel do. So I'm going to go through it and just talk about a little few things of some things Excel could do, and then maybe, is that maybe? And then I will prioritize it and then post videos on what it looks like. And then I will create some classes, some will be free, some I'll charge on how to actually do it. So you'll be able to go to the website, watch some videos based on some descriptions, and then get some lessons on how to do it. So so the first one I have, and I just added this, is a simple time tracking. And all this is a Excel spreadsheet that automatically puts the date and the time in a cell and say cell A1, and then you could type whatever you want into cell A2 or A3, and then when you press a new line, it'll add the date time in cell A2 and then calculate how much time that first cell took. So just a little simple thing, very simple to do using VBA. So that's kind of that would be an early VBA code, and this is VBA is Visual Basic for Application. So within Excel, there's a kind of a hidden programming language called VBA. And if you know Excel well but don't know VBA, you're missing out a lot because there's a lot of things you can't do without VBA. And once you learn it, it's just amazing the things you can do. And I'm just going through a list that's not public yet. So this list I have right now I'm looking at has 106 items, and within it, so I've developed really using my Excel VBA skills, I've been able to develop what's called dynamic websites. And this one website is called listy.net, um, and it actually uses a Microsoft Access database and kind of VBA-like code called ASP, Active Server Programming. It's very similar, not 100% compatible, but if you know VBA, it's very easy to learn ASP. And so it says course material. I have 183 lessons. Um, so it looks like that this list is more of not necessarily the lessons, but different things you could do. Things I need to do, yes, as I'm looking at it. Yeah, so that first one was in the wrong. It's kind of a mixture. I probably have duplicated it. Um, I'll just go through this. Maybe something will be interesting. Yes, a lot of. I'm gonna go through the 183 lessons, and then I'll come back and pick up any additional ones. So my idea is really to take one of them and create a video and just get some feedback and see what the issues are, and come on, maybe even teach the course live in New York City or on Long Island or maybe at a library. So, hmm, now these are actually, I'm looking at the list and it's 100. This is not what Excel can do, but these are more detailed items. Like for example, what's a region? What's the fill anchor? What does it mean if the cell has all hashes or pound signs? Okay, so let's go back and then let's see if I can come up with things it can do. Yeah, so unfortunately I've combined them. I've combined like the activities with the what can Excel do, so I do have to fix that. Okay, so let's see. So One of the things I've developed using Excel VBA is a program that allows me to pretty easily edit ASP code and upload it to the server. So was finding that just was a lot of steps in order to edit a program locally, upload it to the server, issues with whether there was a backup or not. And so the backup I still need some work, but it was pretty cool method. So basically in a spreadsheet I have a list of file names that are my ASP code. I select one. Come on, come on. She doesn't want to come. Come on, let's go. I select one and then I press an edit button and it opens up. Come on, come on. You're in the street. Come on. She's kind of stopping in the street. So I select a file name, which I have a whole list of them. I press the edit button and it opens up Notepad and allows me to edit it. No, no, we're going this way. Come on. And so then from within Notepad, if I make a change to the file and then save it, it automatically uploads to my server. In the past, I had to go to, I had to, go to a window, position to the file, drag it to another window, press yes. And so it's just, it's not a lot, but it saves some time. It also tracks how many times I edited that file on a specific date, so I can see day by day which files I changed and which ones I worked on. It also backs up the file before I work on it. So there's just a lot of little things that it does. Um, the backup needs to be a little bit better, and and it also does other things where it'll even look at the code and look for matching statements. So like in a lot of programming languages, you might need matching parentheses, and it kind of checks for that. That needs a little work, but all in all, it's a pretty nice little system that I built using uh, Excel VBA to help me do my job. The next one I have is this was an idea of brute force statistics. So I had a question. I would have a digital RSA key thingy, and basically would put out 6 digits, 6 random digits, 0 through 9, and for some reason it seemed like there were a lot of duplicate. Like a lot of times I'd have what I would call a pair. So a pair would be 0 2 2 3 4 5 6 or something like that. Or so the question I had was what are the odds? What is the probability that I'll get two of a kind? Two numbers would be the same. And it turns out you can use Excel to do what's called a brute force statistics. And all I do is I just randomly select numbers, um, 6 digits from 0 to 9, and count how many duplicates there are. And I just do that over and over again, millions of times. And by doing that, I can actually get statistics. And it came out to, I think, around 83% of the time, you will get a duplicate. So the odds that you'll get a duplicate is very high. If you don't get a pair, two of the same numbers, and three of the same is considered a pair also. And you could do the same. So without knowing statistics or how it's even done, which I'm not great at statistics, I was able to figure out probabilities. And so I think that's a pretty cool thing you can do with Excel. The next one is what I think is pretty cool also. I call it's like a to-do list time monitor. And just the basic premise is I create a column in Excel on a spreadsheet, and I can add things to it. The top row tells me how many items I have on it, what percentage I've done, and so if I want to complete something, so I select an item. If I want to work on it, I press some key combination, and it gives me a little pop-up window that's always on top that tells me what I'm working on, and I find that very useful. Also logs that I'm working on this thing, whatever it is. And another cool thing is that I can actually randomly select items from the list. So if I'm not sure what I want to work on, I could just press a key combination. It'll pick a random selection out of the things I haven't done. And the way it knows I've done something is I put a hash. There's a way to easily cross something off to show that it's done. So I just, again, it's a little thing. It also has a number of other tools built in it. And so I'm going to create another course on building this whole system. Now, one of the things, it does a couple of things. It tracks your time, so you know what you're working on, and it also it deals with the what should I work on problem, because a lot of times you might not know what you want to work on, or it might be very close to, two or three things. And so instead of fighting with it, basically what it does is it allows you to randomly select one of those items, and then what I usually do is work on it a minimum of 5 minutes, whatever it selects, and then if I don't want to work on it anymore, I can move on. I could work on it for a half hour, and it has a built-in selection of timers. So I'll put that up there just so you can see what it is. I built another program in Excel, which is so I built a lot of the same kind of programs, and this one was based on something I had built a long time ago, which had alarms in it, um, time tracking, status report, a lot of different stuff. I haven't been using it lately. I probably should pull it out and see what's there, but it has a lot of different kind of code and ideas. Similar to what I'm doing now, just maybe more complicated, more functionality. And I called that Time Creator. Um, Another thing is I had mentioned that with Excel VBA, you can learn to create dynamic websites. And so that's pretty cool. And just a dynamic website is the content of the website could be based on a database. So people could be entering data, and then somebody else somewhere else could pull in the data they've entered, right out of a database. And most things, I mean, you could even with it, build something like Twitter or Facebook copy. I mean, obviously it won't be the same, but you can do similar kind of things, or anything you do if you want to. It's really up to your imagination to build a website, and with those tools, it's not that difficult. And then the lessons I will show you, uh, you can learn how to build dynamic websites. Like for example, my Listy is a dynamic website that allows people to create lists. You could have any number of lists, and each list can have sub-lists. Within that, I even have some code that helps me write books and loads them onto Amazon as Kindle books. So there's all sorts of things you can do. Um, okay, so I'm doing a lot of this right now, and I even think this could be a business. So I have to think about how I put this together. But at work, I do a lot of um, stuff where I run queries against any number of databases. Come on, come on. I run queries against a number of databases. I then load the data into Excel. I do stuff with Excel, whether it's create charts, filter on it, add coloring and formatting, or even run additional VBA code to do more things, and then load it into PowerPoint slides. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, I need some work on how to organize it a little bit better, but there's certainly something there. Um, and I could set the whole thing up so that automatically it will just generate your PowerPoint decks, with some SQL and some other things. It even does things where people from different projects send me slides and has processes to do that kind of thing. It's getting warm out now, so that could be a whole business. But I will be creating a class on how to do that. And by the way, if you're interested in any of these, please just mention it in the comments. Just say you would like to see how to do this, or you'd be interested in taking this kind of course. And of course, now it's hard to read my phone, which is what I was doing. Sometimes the phone like gets really bright when the light's bright, but not now. Okay. Um, Another thing I've done with it, not a lot, but you can also control Microsoft Word with Excel VBA. So I have written some VBA. Oh, look who's here. Look who's there. It's Riley. You want to go say hello? Come on. Come on. Look who's there. Look who's across the street. Look who that is. Who is that? Who is that? You want to go say hello? Hi. Come on. You want to go say hello? Come on. You want to come? You want to come say hello? How you doing? They know each other. It's Riley, right? I know. I figured that. Hey, she's gonna probably just smell her and then run away. Hey, Riley. Yeah. Hi there, Riley. They look similar, don't they? It's just she's light, she's dark. Like even the nose, like look at the tip of their nose. Like the tip of it has like that pink. Matter of fact, I think Riley was protecting my dog, Lola. Yeah, there was like some two dog. She was like, enough. What are you gonna do? You gonna just sit there? Sit and scratch. But I thought Riley, like there was two dogs, like really walking down the street and barking at. And my dog was afraid, and I thought Riley was protecting her. Right, come on, let's go. Take care. Yeah, how come you didn't protect me? Okay, so there's a bunch of noise in there. Stop it. Come here. Come on. Sorry. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, so it's a dog we knew called Riley, and Lola had to come over and say hello. She did. Well, he seems like a nice dog. So I'll have to cut a lot of the banging. Riley knocked my headset off, and she's always jumping. I guess she knew I had treats. Oh, I could actually read this now. So yeah, so I've written code that controls Microsoft Word. Um, it needs more work though, but for the basics work, which is